Well, hello, hello, hello. I see Susan Robertson is in here. Hello, Susan. Um, kind of messing around a little bit right now, trying to see if that works any better. That works pretty good. We're dealing with AST here, Arizona Squatch Technology. Um, I'm gonna get right in it. I don't know how many people are gonna come in live, but I know it'll get watched regardless. We spent a couple of nights up at Squatch Camp. Got back today. We were actually going to stay tonight, but weather forecast was showing good chances of thunderstorms lasting up until close to 9 o'clock tonight. So decided to call the trip, because it doesn't do us any good if it's pouring out rain and we can't sit out. Unfortunately, the weather had changed and now it's clear skies, and I'm kind of wishing I was still up there. But we had some things to take care of. It was Chris, Chuck, and myself that was up there. When Chris came up to my house Monday night, he ended up with a flat tire, and so we got the spare tire put on. But he was kind of stressing about that a little bit and wanting to get his car squared away. So it was nice that we left a day early. Got him a little ahead of schedule on things, and so here we are tonight. I might try something a little different. I've made a couple of videos, and I keep trying to upload them. The first one that I was trying to upload is only a 3-minute, little over a 3-minute video. However, I tried to upload it 2 different times, and it'd get to about the 35% mark, and it would go from 20 minutes left to 4 hours left to upload it. So it kind of went into a pause, and I just don't understand why it does that. I'm sure it has something to do with my internet speed here at the house, because I'm operating off of Wi-Fi instead of directly off of my cell phone service, because I don't have any cell phone service where I live. I mean, I do got to go stand out on the end of my driveway to get service. So I tried to upload the 3-minute, little over 3-minute video. I might try, like I said, I might try something new. I may just try and show the video on here. If that turns out semi okay, we may take a station break, and run the other 2 videos on this live stream. We'll see. We'll just play it by ear. The other option I have is upload it into my laptop and then upload it to YouTube straight from there. So that may be the logical process, but we'll see what happens with this first opening video. It's 3 minutes. Hey, Chuck. Just a quick story of what this opening video is about. My last trip up there, like I had stated, I just didn't sleep very well. I didn't have my CPAP, blah, 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 blah. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I got up, 4:15. I got out of the truck and decided to head home, and put my boots on and closed the tailgate and got in the truck, started it up, and drove off. And Monday, I went down to the Phoenix metropolitan area, but before I did, I went to load a crate in the back of my truck to take to my daughter. And I was like, where the hell is my tool crate? And shit. I'd taken my tool crate out of the back of the truck and set it underneath my tailgate because I was sleeping in the back of my truck. Closed the truck up, drove off, left my tool crate sitting there. Little over a week it sat up there, and Well, I'll set the video up here in a second. And like I said, we're going to try a little something new, little Arizona Squatch technology, and see if I can side skirt the issue I'm having trying to upload videos from my cell phone directly to the YouTube. And it doesn't get any cheesier than this, you know, as far as trying to do this stuff. But this is what I have to work with, you know, with what abilities I have. All right, hey guys, today is August 23rd. Okay, hold on, let me back this up. But you know, as this goes on, I'll get into you know, to some of the activity that we had. I'm not going to go into the full details at this point because there is some stuff that happened with me that I'm really trying to process. And you know, and Chuck will tell you, Chris would tell you, you know, if you're not there to experience it, how do you put it into words? Yeah, you know, so that's the struggling issue I'm having with some of the stuff that happened. But we had, you know, maybe if I do the second video, like I'm going to do this first video, I'll go in and explain a couple of things. Kind of humorous. But anyway, we'll give this a try because the sound's going to have to come. Hey, man, sweetheart. Hope everybody in your home as well. I have been praying for you guys. So, but anyway, I'm going to try and do this. We'll see if it works. All right, hey guys, today is August 23rd. This is my 50th. Got a really good birthday gift. And so real quick before I turn around, my last trip up here, as I had stated in one of my live videos from the house that I left out of here early in the morning. It was dark, and it wasn't until day before yesterday when I went down to the Phoenix metropolitan area, it dawned on me that my tool crate was not in the back of my truck. I had taken it out, set it underneath my tailgate. Really worried that somebody had found it. Well, here is my tool crate. You know, I got tools scattered. No, I'm gonna get all this, but you know, this wasn't a somebody. You know, if somebody would have been in here, they would have walked off with all this because there's, you know, I got a couple $100 worth of stuff in here. Yeah, I really screwed up and left it. My air compressor sitting right here. You know, if it would have been like a bear or something, let's see. Yeah, there's, you know, there's no teeth marks or anything on it. That hole right there, sorry, that hole right there was already on it. But, hot damn. And here's the crate that it was in. So I had left this underneath my tailgate when I packed up. I just, you know, it's black. Most everything in the case was black. Oh, isn't that just, hold on a second, folks. But so now I've got to get my tools cleaned up and out of the way, but I am so happy I did not lose all this stuff. Yeah, it's, you know, my jump starter, you know, for jump starting if I get a dead battery, and jumper cables and socket sets and wrenches and all that. So happy birthday to me. I didn't lose it. I am so grateful. But anyway, we just got here to Squatch Camp, 10 o'clock in the morning. I got a bunch of stuff to pick up and get camp set up. So we will be back. There's going to be more to come. Love you guys, as always. Peace out. All right, guys. So there's a full taste of Arizona Squatch technology. Get a phone call right in the middle of it. Okay. Hey, Chris, how you doing, brother? Hey, so the four of you that are in here, let me know what you think about the Arizona Squatch technology and shooting or putting that video up there that way. Because right now, other than uploading into my laptop, the 23rd was my 54th birthday, and it was great to be up there. I'm blessed to have the wife that I have that says, that's what you want for your birthday? Bye. I mean, it wasn't like that, but so yeah, so it was up there for my 54th birthday, and so to get back into that tool crate thing, all those wrenches and everything, they were in a tool bag, and couldn't find the tool bag in the general vicinity. So, kind of picked everything up, set it over by the fire pit, let it get a little sun on it to dry it out, and got the camp set up. And Chris and I were walking around, and I probably about 35 yards away from where the pile of tools was a little clear plastic box that electrical connectors come in from the parts store. Found that, and so started looking a little deeper, and probably about 15 yards away from that or so, I found the tool bag. And then a little later on that afternoon, I found another one of those little plastic cases that the electronics come in. So that was not your typical people that did that with the tool case. That was our, my forest friends. Any other animal, if it would have been a bear, bears love chewing on plastic. That crate would have been chewed on. The cases that the sockets are in would have been chewed on. If the crate had just kind of been tossed and flipped over, the one big box that's on there in my sockets, the plastic tabs are gone. That keeps it closed. Those would have scattered to the wind. With that being flipped over, and there's no other rhyme or reason other than my forest friends, they kind of, hey, what do you leave behind this time? And there's nothing in here. I am missing one little socket, but something shiny. Maybe they wanted to take it, maybe they didn't. So that was pretty much it for for the tools. But I am so grateful that I was able to get those tools back. Because it's it's not super expensive, but it's money I don't need to be spending on something I've already spent money on. But yeah, so got that back. We got the camp set up. Went out to the phone booth and left a gift at the gift stump, but I had to call Chuck because in my haste to leave the house, and I'm going to blame this on Chris because he was just blah 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 blah. I'm kidding, he wasn't. I left the camp chairs at the house, so when I was unpacking the truck to set up camp, I was like, son of a. And so I went out and called Chuck, and he was getting ready to leave before too long, so he brought up a few extra chairs, so we actually had something to sit on. I mean, otherwise I'd have just gone back to the house and got them. No big deal. But anyway, so we got camp set up, and we're doing the thing, and it's getting time to sit out, and because of what happened last night, the first night is, it is a little blotchy as far as, the order of how things happened and what all happened. So I may bounce around on it, but I'm just going to try and hit on some of the key things that happened. Of course, we had a few twinkle lights and we started getting the feeling of presence. Got a couple little hello tingles. Could see some distortions moving around. And for my new viewers, that's what I refer to as, when people say that they can cloak, because absolutely they can. But I hate using the word cloak because it just kind of sounds too science fiction to me. And, so I use, distorted image or shimmering image is usually my key phrase with that. But so we were seeing some of that, and of course it got really dark out. Partly cloudy and no moon out. So that's the kind of nights I like to be out. We could tell there were several of them around us, and at one point, Chuck had asked, "How many of you are here?" And Chris and myself both got the number 7, that there were 7 of them that were there. We had directly in front of us, more directly at Chuck's 12 o'clock, because we're kind of sitting around where the campfire ring is. So we're kind of on the north side of the campfire pit. No campfire, but just sitting there. And about 20 yards in front of us is a blue spruce tree and a pine tree, and they're kind of tucked in together. And Chuck had asked me or asked us if we see anything over by that tree. Now, mind you, it's dark out, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and so I start looking up, getting away from ground level, and start getting a little skyline in the background. And yet, sure as shit, we had one standing there, just solid black mass. And I don't recall how long that he was standing there, but he was standing there for well over, was massive. Estimating close to I don't know what we figure, Chuck, a little over 11 foot. But just massive. There was several other things that had happened, but like I stated, after what happened last night, my head is disorientated at this point in time. Just trying to process some of the stuff. That's I'm going to fast forward and cover a couple of things from last night. Well, now, before I do that, see if we can do this without getting a phone call again. Let's see how long this thing is. Yeah, we're just going to let it run. The direction that I'm looking off. Well, hey, guys. Today is August 24th, and we are at Squatch Camp. That's Chuck's Squatching van and everything else van. All right, we got Chris and Chuck here, and this chair that's flipped over. Wayne was sitting there. He came up to visit us for the day, but I have to do this video while it's still nice and fresh in my head. The 4 of us were sitting here. Chris is was sitting exactly where he is. Chuck is exactly where he was. And then, of course, Wayne was right over here. And I was sitting right where I'm sitting, looking off in the direction that I'm looking off. And all of a sudden, Chris, Wayne, and myself, all three at the same time, did you see that? And so I got to keep my finger away from the volume button, so hold on. So I got to figure this out. Okay, here's Chuck. Okay, these two trees, and then you can see the log back there in the background. On the other side of that log that's back there in the background, from going from my right to left, what I saw was about a 6, possibly 7 foot, but more likely closer to the 6 foot mark. Dark figure, dart by right to left, and I mean, he was hauling ass. It was just starting to sprinkle out, so that's why we were sitting underneath the canopy. And that's kind of why Wayne left, because it started to rain, and he was just up here for the day. But, so just, it's time for your meds, Chuck. Yeah. Chuck's phone is going off his meds reminder. But, so anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Chris and let Chris tell you what he saw.
Well, I will validate that entire first opening. I was looking back over my shoulder because I was sitting close to the edge of the canopy, and the rain was starting to come in, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't dripping onto the back of my hoodie. So I had turned around like so. Right as I turned around, I watched this figure dart from left to right.
Right to left.
Oh. Yeah. No, right to left. Sorry. Yeah, I got a little confused. Make sure we're all on the same page here.
Your other left.
My other left. About as fast as I've ever seen anything move in my life. And I kept watching because right after that happened, a squirrel got startled and ran in the opposite direction from where the figure, the figure had come towards it and startled it and ran in the other side, screaming, running. And I saw what I saw. I figure about 6 foot, dark figure. I'm assuming the darkness was hair. And it vanished as quickly as I saw it. And I snapped around and saw Wayne looking in the same direction and Kevin. And all three of us said at the exact same time, "Did you see that?" So it is what it is. I believe that was a daytime sighting.
Oh, that was a daytime sighting. So right now I'm going to call that number 11. Sorry, Chuck.
But I was faced the wrong direction, and I didn't get to see it.
Again.
But anyway, so just a quick video on that. Might go a little deeper on it, but there's not much more to go deeper on because that's what it was. I will say it wasn't a big, bulky mass. It was slender. But, the distance that I saw it, because get my finger over here, where the canopy corner comes down, that's where I first saw him come out, and he covered that whole distance back there. So all the way to back behind the spruce tree that's in front of us. And he covered that distance. And so that's probably close to in between 25 to 30 yards that I watched it, the distance that he covered. And it was literally in the blink of an eye fast. Squatch Camp.
Well, it was only an hour after we'd been down to.
We went down into Squatch Valley, and well, we're on the subject. Go for it. What happened?
So I'd never been to this location before with these guys, and there's a couple interesting spots. It's pretty active, And Kevin wanted me to go down to a location where he first had his encounter with a with it being that he became a friend and a mentor to him that passed away. And so as he was beginning to tell me the story of that first encounter, we got down there. You could hear a pin drop in this quiet little kind of depressed area, and we got a huge tree break, crash smash, and I mean it was less than 30 feet in front of us. So that was interesting. You know, what are those? You know, I don't believe in any coincidences ever, not especially not in this phenomenon. And that was followed by finding back to back, really solid footprints. Not very large. I think they were, if they are juveniles, it was a juvenile print. But then we came upon another one less than 10 feet away from it. So, and you know, and there was a good vibe in there. I got zapped in there. I know Kevin did as well.
Yep.
You know, it's a spiritual kind of little area. This whole area's got an energy to it, but that was a little bit more of an intense area. That was my take on it. You know, and then we had the sighting less than an hour after that, and Kevin had actually vocalized to these guys to please come up and visit us. You know, and they know Kevin, they know Chuck, they know me from other areas, and I think that's kind of what happened. You know, that's my take on it.
So we'll see what happens tonight, and probably let me get this turned around without turning it off. Well, I'm gonna stop that one right there because I just kind of babble for a little bit. I'm good at that, but yeah. So back in the archives, you'll find videos of Squatch Valley if you want to see what it looks like down in there. But you know, this is the first time in like almost 2 years that I was able to get into Squatch Camp, and you know, Chris has been coming out for his first trip was April of last year. You know, and so he's heard about Squatch Camp, yeah, but he hasn't been in there. So I kind of called him out of the blue. We were scheduled to go in there, then I had to go down to the valley, so I canceled the trip, and then at the last minute I was like, all right, screw it, let's go. And you know, because I only had to spend a day down in the Phoenix area, and so Chris came up to the house, and out to Squatch Camp we went. So I needed to make sure that you know, he got the full Monty of, you know, of everything around there. Had a couple different things that I wanted to show him, but to really get him down there into Squatch Valley. So him and I went down into, this thing's still running. Him and I went down into Squatch Valley, and you know, it was not a letdown. You know, like he said, you know, we had that branch break. You know, I would say it was at least 25 yards away from us. You know, dead silent down there, and just whack. You know, and then down comes this, you know, this branch right there by us. It's not like it was just a dead branch that fell out of a tree. This thing was snapped, and you know, I'd have to say I saw probably about the 6 foot level of the branch coming down. So I don't know how high up it was, but it was right about the 6 foot level of, you know, where I actually saw it. We thought that was pretty cool, and so I started giving him the tour down there, and where different things had happened, and you know, we found a couple of footprints. Now these footprints, you know, they were, you know, probably about that big, you know, the little one. One of the youngsters, believe it's Rien. But I got him over to where I had my first real powerful interaction with Indy, and I think that was a defining moment for the trip. And once I figure out how to explain all this, I'll go into more detail about that. And so we went back up to camp, and you know, and we had the one run by that the three of us got to see, and poor Chuck, man, he's always sitting in the wrong you know, sitting in the wrong spot, or you know, but anyway, you know, the three of us got to see that, and you know, that was pretty powerful that three of us got to see it. She Cave, Squatch Valley is a area behind Squatch Camp that they hadn't done any foresting in, and it's just a real special place. But yeah, it's right there by Squatch Camp. It's just down the hill. But so we had that happen at the camp, and the one thing I didn't explain is that had happened at about 1:30 in the afternoon, and it was probably 4:30 in the afternoon when I made that video, as we had a good 3 hours of just solid rain. And that's kind of why, as Chuck said, we look like a bunch of homeless people underneath a bridge. But we got dumped on, and that, because of that, with what the weather forecast this morning was saying, that it was supposed, chances of rain all the way to 9 o'clock, we just called it and came home this morning instead of tomorrow. But last night, God, I don't want to leave you guys hanging on this. So it was a very, 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 very powerful night last night. For me, because I can only speak for myself. I know Chuck had an amazing night, and so did Chris. But what had happened to me, came in the lines of communication, the power zap that I got. Yeah, because I got a lot of new viewers on here, I have to go into more detail of previous things that had happened. And I'm looking at the time right now because I don't want to be on here for like an hour and a half tonight, because I'm tired, and I will come back on this weekend. Maybe Sunday afternoon, and just give the full Monty of what I experienced. I'm not going to go into a lot of what I consider minute details, and one of the things, that last video that I just showed, one of the parts that I cut out, when I just now stopped the video. Hold on, we have a special guest. My toothless wonder, Jasmine. Say hi, Jazzy. I got my back door open to my garage, so she went outside and came in. But so I had said something to the fact that it wasn't that spectacular of a night, or something to that effect. And after I did the video, Chuck's like, "What are you talking about? That was a great night. We had this, and we had this, and we had this, and this, and this happened." And and so I had to stop and think. And for me, it's just another night out. I sometimes forget that my viewers need to hear all this stuff. And because it just becomes so mundane to me. Oh, more twinkle lights. Oh, another shimmering image. Oh, there goes a black mass moving by me in the dark. It just becomes second nature to me, and I start getting, I don't know, lazy. I don't know if lazy is the right word for it, but Chuck has often said to me that what I consider just a night, that people who've been in this field for 40, 50 years have never experienced anything close to that. Yeah, so I got to stop and reflect. And make some adjustments, and kind of get rid of that frame of mind that it's it was just another night. The usual stuff happened, and start getting a little more in detail with it. But with what had happened last night, I have to go back to the beginning, through the middle of it, and bring it around to to last night, because there's so much in play, going back, to the beginning of all this for me, that correlates with what happened last night. It all ties in, it all ties together. It's not just, boom, this happened last night, and oh my, I don't know how to react to it. When tab A slides into slot B, you have to be able to explain how that happens. And that's a lot of what last night was for me. Just tying other experiences in to kind of a finalization of what had happened last night. And by no means is it a final, the finality of things. It just, this ties to this and this, and so I got to take all these pieces and lay it out in front of you, and then go into what happened last night. And so I got to have my head screwed on straight. I got to have my thoughts all together when I do this, because I can't leave anything out of it. It's that detrimental to this experience. Chuck says, Kevin, mention about the little ones in the chair. Un momento, por favor. Hi, Kathy. Oh, I got to quit teasing Kathy. Yes, I need to quit smoking. No. You mind your own business. This is my show, not yours. She missed her daddy. What the hell was I saying? Oh, yeah, the chair. This was Jasmine. You want to go inside? You got to behave. By no means is this the first time that this has happened to us. It's happened on multiple occasions. We have gotten to the point to where we leave at least one extra chair out. And this is the reason why. I don't remember where it happened the first time. I want to say it was at Crazy Town. Yeah, Chuck, was it Crazy Town? They've asked, are they with me now? Okay. Well, I will say, yes, they are with me now. It has to do with last night. Okay, yeah. So Chuck says, yeah, it was Crazy Town. So we're at Crazy Town, and it wasn't real dark out. I would say we probably had 3/4 of a moon, something like that. So we had a little bit of light out, and when it's like that, you can see these distorted images, or the shimmering images, quite a bit better. And so we had several of these moving around us, and Chuck has asked me to look at the empty chair next to him. Okay, Chuck was sitting to my left, but the empty chair was in between us. So I looked at the chair and I said, well, I can see my side of the chair is in perfect focus, but your side of the chair is like doing this wavy distortion. And he could see the same thing, but he could see his side of the chair, and the side closest to me was all distorted. And we're like, we have a little one sitting here with us, because the top of its head was maybe just a couple inches above the back of the chair. And like, is this really happening? Do we have a little one sitting in the damn chair next to us? And we felt pretty honored by that. And so as things progress and more trips go on, we come to find this to be, more common than not, that, because of the trust that we have developed with the forest people, as long as our conversations are where they're supposed to be, and we kind of got slapped across the face one night because of conversation, and all I'm going to say is a bunch of military guys sitting around talking about military things and what happens when military things happen. Well, they didn't approve of that conversation, and all of a sudden, it went completely dead. And so what ended up happening was that they didn't want their young ones to hear this type of conversation, and so they pulled them back. We made our apologies, and everything turned out fine. But yeah, so the position I was sitting in, I couldn't see it, but Chuck and Chris both could see, this little one sitting in the chair. And I think because at one point, I'm thinking, Chuck, that was the first night, wasn't it? Because I had got up and I'd walked over by the tree where, the glow tree, or the tree that lit up on me, 4 years ago, or call it the portal tree. That's when I'd got up and I'd walked over there and put my hand on, I had my hand on the tree and so I'll tell the story. I didn't feel anything, but I was getting drawn to go over there. And it's about 47 yards away from where I was sitting. So I walk over there and I got my hand on the tree, and I'm just kind of trying to look around, and I just can't see anything. And so I take my hand down and I kind of walk around this little grouping of trees and bushes, and I have one standing about 3 feet in front of me, zaps the living shit out of me, and I kind of get paralyzed for a minute. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go sit back down, and everything was fine. And I turned around and went and sat back down, and Chris and Chuck were talking about this one that's sitting in the chair. And as I think by the time I got back over there, it maybe had stood up and was behind the chair. But when I walked by it, whoever it was had backed off and was no longer in the chair. It seems to me. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I know it was both nights, because I remember last night you asking about it, and I couldn't see it last night, but you and Chris both could. But the really good one, I think, was when I went over there by the glow tree, because you had, I think you had two of them there. You said you had one sitting in the chair and one standing behind the chair. Uh-oh. Fucking really? Am I still here? I just lost everything. Did I lose internet? No, I got internet. What in the world is going on with my computer? Guys, I have no idea if I'm still there or if everything just disappeared. Let's go to YouTube and see what YouTube is showing. You guys hear me? Chuck, if you can hear me, send me a text message. Huh. Yeah, okay, so sorry guys. Yeah, my computer screen is gray and I got the little thinking circle spinning around, so I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if you guys can you see me, Chuck? Or is it just audio? Okay, so you can hear and see me, so I'll just ignore what's going on my screen. I'll so was talking. I think where I left off was that there was two of them around the chair at that point last night. Oh, Chuck's saying both nights there was two of them, but yeah, you know, so much going on. You know, God, I don't know where I was going in with all that now. Get distracted and poof. I don't remember where I was going before Chuck asked me to talk about the chair. Okay, my connection gets fuzzy, but the sound is still good. Thanks, Christina. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if my computer is trying to do a reboot. My friends are messing with me. Would be my biggest guess. Maybe because where I was getting ready to go, I'm not supposed to go to yet. So, all right. Yeah, so we decided to pack everything up today and head out. So that's what we did. But before we did, I had to take Chris over and show him what I call the spiral tree. And once again, back in the archives, I would say that would be in August or September of 2017. It's a tree where the bark has been peeled off and, you know, kind of in this spiral. Huh. Yeah, I could see myself vaguely moving in the background. You know, this is kind of freaky, actually, looking at it. When I lost my right eye and after one of my, or, you know, took the injury to my right eye and after one of the surgeries, I had an issue where my vision just fogged up. And what I'm looking at my computer screen, other than the little blue circle-y thing doing this, looks exactly like what my vision did when that happened to me. So that's kind of an awkward feeling. Glad I can see everything else around me just fine. But I am going to, like I said, probably Sunday afternoon. Probably Sunday afternoon. Oh, I'm back. Ha. I can see me. Yay. Now I can bring two of my friends. Um, Sunday afternoon, I should hopefully by then be ready to go uh, into detail more on what happened last night to me and with me, and bring all the other stuff in prior to that to, you know, to tie all this in together. Um, yeah, I know, Christina, that I never left, but I left on my end, and you're right. She's having issues. She's old. Um, so I'll go through some stuff uh, leading up to you know, why last night was so important and so powerful for me. And I don't know, maybe if Chuck's up to it, uh, uh, we can both hop on together, and you know, he can fill in some of the blanks if I miss a couple of things, and especially when we get into talking about uh, last night, and you know, if he wants to expand on some of the other stuff that happened, you know, outstanding. uh, Phenomenal trip. You know, it's, I got my tools back. Three of us had a daytime sighting. You know, all kinds of crazy interactions. Um, right now, I'm wishing I was still up there. But you know, I had to follow my gut, and you know what information I had in front of me as far as weather-wise, and you know, if it would have been a situation where it was just raining and pouring and thunderstorms on us till 9 o'clock, what's the point of being up there? You know, we can't sit out. So here we are. We're home. I'm pretty confident I'll be back up there rather quickly, and we'll keep going from there. But I'm going to call this a show, as I got some things that I want to go do, and I just want to thank you all for coming on, and everybody who watches this. You know, please forgive the uh, AST, Arizona Squatch Technology, but kind of right now that's the way I got to do it, because it's just taking too damn long to upload these videos, and I've got to call my provider and see if I can't get something changed, and maybe get some speed boosted in here or something. I don't know what the problem is. I'm not a computer guy. But as always, each and every one of you, I love you. Be good to each other, and peace out.